Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Top of Pop Film Club at home. So 2 weeks ago, I chose Master and Commander as my pick in our lockdown chain. And now Wayne has chosen another film about a ship's crew.
Yes, I have. I have chosen Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger's 1941 film, The 49th Parallel.
How surprising of you to choose a Powell and Pressburger.
Well, I wanted to give Woody a break. So yeah, 49th Parallel. So Master and Commander, British crew during the Napoleonic Wars. This is during World War II. Nazis, U-boat, to give it a bit of a twist. They don't stay on their boat for long, but they are the main characters of the film. So I think it's a legitimate link.
Completely legitimate, and a film that I've been wanting to see for a long time. So
Same here. I've never seen it either, because I don't know, the war, the sort of, as I said at the intro to Master and Commander, sort of war films tend not to interest me too much. But I'm a big Powell and Pressburger fan, so it was great to have an excuse to finally get to watch it. So just to give it a bit of context, so it's their third collaboration, Powell and Pressburger. They were put together in 1939 by Alexander Korda, when Pressburger was brought in to do some rewrites on The Spy in Black, which I haven't seen. I haven't seen that either. I think I've seen The Edge of the World, and then just the sort of the later classic ones. So Pressburger, Hungarian Jew, who was working in Berlin as a screenwriter in the late 1920s, and then fled Nazi Germany to come to the UK via Paris, and they ended up working together on 19 films over 18 years. So it's quite incredible, really. I mean, the most famous ones are Black Narcissus, Red Shoes, Matter of Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, all of which I know where I'm going, all of which we've shown at Film Club.
We're running out.
I know. Well, there's still a few more I want to get in. But during the World War II, they made films which were pretty much just propaganda, and they were financed by the Ministry of Information as well. And I've got on my notes page 437. So let me see what I've got. This is highly recommended. Well, I say highly recommended. It's highly recommended if you're a huge fan of Michael Powell, especially. He does tend to go on a bit, but in quite an entertaining way.
That sounds familiar. Wait.
So let me just see what I've got for page 437. Oh yeah, so number of films financed by the Ministry of Information. So this is Michael Powell's take on their wartime propaganda. In 1940, with the 49th Parallel, we told the Americans that we were fighting their war as well as ours. In 1941, with one of our aircraft is missing, we had told the world that Europe would never be conquered. In 1942, with Colonel Blimp, we said that Britain would never be conquered. In 1943, with the Canterbury Tower, we were explaining to the Americans and to our own people the spiritual values and the traditions we were fighting for. So, and then he doesn't go so far in that quote, but they also did Matter of Life and Death, which was to cement, improve American
special
English.
Relationship.
Yeah, the special relationship, exactly. So they're their war films. So it started with them going to visit a minister called Kenneth Clark, not the Kenneth Clark, or not our Kenneth Clark, or not our. We you know what I mean. He's not our Kenneth Clark, but
We know what you mean.
Yes, not the Kenneth Clark who's still alive today. He was a minister at the Ministry of Information. So they went to him to discuss a film, and they said, we want to make it in Canada. And he said, why Canada? And Michael Powell said, because Canada is in the war already as a member of the British Commonwealth and is no more ready than we are to deal with Hitler. Sooner or later, their coast will be attacked and their ships sunk, and that will bring America into the war. I want to make a film in Canada to scare the pants off the Americans and bring them into the war sooner. So Kenneth Clark, according to Michael Powell, said, yes, of course, I'll get my checkbook. So he gave them £5,000 just to go on a trip to Canada.
Very nice.
They traveled first class on a liner, lived off caviar and champagne on the trip. And then they got to Canada and they went on a 3-week road trip across Canada. They had no idea what they were doing at this point.
Right.
They just knew they wanted to write. So while they were on the trip, they thrashed out this idea for a screenplay. And in Ottawa, they met with the government ministers of Canada. And I've got here page 350. So let me consult the Bible. There's a couple of Bibles mentioned in the film. This is our one on our end of the screen. So they meet the government ministers of Canada. I explained who we were and what we were doing in Canada, and that the British Treasury supported the venture. There were one or two incredulous looks and whistles at this statement. I said that the first purpose of the film was propaganda to counter the extremely able Nazi propaganda that had been threatening and frightening the North American continent for years. They sat up at that. I said that our second aim was to bring America into a war with us, and this got a cheer. So the apparently, according to Michael Powell, yeah, exactly. So they returned to UK via a sneaky little trip to New York to check in the Broadway show, of course. And they arrived back to the UK, and they then had to meet the Treasury to get the money out of them. They had the script, they had the cast. It's a good cast. You got Eric Portman as the main Nazi, Laurence Olivier as Johnny the Trapper. And I didn't write this down, so this has just occurred to me now while I've mentioned Johnny the Trapper. So I'll mention it now before I forget. I thought there was a bit of weird sexual tension between
I know what you mean. No.
Johnny and one of the Nazis.
I detected that as well.
Yeah, I don't know if that was meant to be between their characters or between the actors, and it just happened to transfer.
I'll be interested to hear what.
But it's just a weird little moment, isn't there?
There is a little.
Yeah. Who else? Oh, Anton Woolbrack, of course.
And Leslie Howard.
Yeah, Leslie Howard, who Michael Powell seems to have hated.
Oh, right.
And, I didn't write down the quote, but he says, I liked all my actors. But I did not like Leslie Howard.
And Glynis Johns?
Yes, who replaced the original actress. This is in my interesting facts at the end, but we might as well deal with that now. She replaced, where's my interesting facts? Oh, here they are. She replaced an actress called Elizabeth Bergner. Have you heard of her? The one part, so basically the plot is the U-boat gets sunk off the coast of Canada, and the Nazis have to travel across Canada to get into neutral America and be safe. So on their way there, they encounter locals who they fail to convert to the Nazi cause, and they also get sort of picked off one by one. The model was 10 Little Indians, the Agatha Christie novel. That was Pressburger's model for the film. So so they've got this actress Elizabeth Bergner. At one point they visit a religious settlement. Yeah, and apparently the actress, she films scenes there, but in between takes she was spotted smoking and painting her nails, and they went nuts at this, and Michael Powell had to calm everything down and basically fire.
There was actually an actual community of Hutterites.
Yeah, there was a real community they used. those half of the people in the community brought in for Eric Portman gives a sort of rousing pro-Nazi speech at one point, and half the people who are witnessing the speech are actually Jewish German refugees who Michael Powell handpicked to give it more oomph, their reaction to make it more real. I don't think, not in an exploitative way.
And I thought Anton Woolbrack's response to that speech sort of reminded me of the kind of like Marseillaise bit of Casablanca. Very sort of patriotic.
He's just great in this film. He's my favorite.
Anyway, sorry.
Great hair. So where was it? Oh yeah.
Glynis Johnson.
Yeah. I was on the casting, wasn't I? Where's my notes? So this actress Elizabeth Bergner, who got fired or left, she was meant to go back to England so she could reshoot the interior shots in Denham when they got back to, because the Johnny the Trapper stuff, that's all shot in Denham as well.
Right.
But she actually decided not to go back to England, where it was all, because it's all being bombed. She went to Hollywood instead.
Very good.
And there's a bit of controversy about that. So where was I? Casting. I think I'm on my second page. Yeah.
How many pages have we got?
Well, 2. After 3 weeks in Canada, so let me just look at my notes. In 3 weeks in Canada, referring to UK, blah, 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 discuss plot and casting, short film with Eric Portman as the main Nazi, Laurence Olivier as Johnny the Trapper. We've done all that. That's it.
Great.
That is it.
Well,
all I've got left is interesting facts.
Okay.
A few interesting facts. They're less interesting facts. They're more uninteresting observations.
Okay. Well, let's hear them. I mean,
they are. I think they're relevant observations. The last Powell Pressburger film we showed during lockdown was A Canterbury Tower, and I think this is a great companion piece to the Canterbury Tower.
I agree. I was thinking the same thing myself.
Yeah, because Canterbury Tower is lots of shots of the Kent countryside, and here we've got Canada, especially when they go to the community and you see all the fields of wheat, and again you've got Eric Portman playing a sinister patriot fanatic in both films. Accents, I think we should discuss.
Yeah. Let's talk about Laurence Olivier
briefly. Laurence Olivier. So if you're a fan of the outrageous French accents in Master and Commander, you will not be disappointed by 49th Parallel. And what's odd, so you've got Laurence Olivier with this outrageous French accent, and you've got all the Nazis speaking in very clipped British upper class.
So one of the things I'd forgotten that it was a film about Nazis, right? When I was going in, I was like, I find it is strange that and they are, it's quite an interesting portrayal, I think, of the Nazis, because there's a few sort of, there's at least one sort of like, good
Nazis. Well, yeah, who been sort of shanghaied into the army.
But yeah, it is.
I'm sorry.
No, and I think it is interesting the way they that I was always slightly puzzled. What language are we supposed to think that they are speaking?
I know. You sort of have to suspend your disbelief on that. It's just a shame. They could have. I'm sure they could have done the voices if they'd wanted to.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been a bit low.
Yeah.
But it's a bit uneven, the accents, a bit, David Lean edited the film. Ralph Vaughan Williams wrote the original.
David Lean. So his the year after he made his first film, which we serve, which was another bit of wartime propaganda.
And I've got a nice quote about David Lean. It's a very short one. From what shall I say of David Lean, except that we share the exact exalted view of our craft, and that he has never compromised. On 49th Parallel, carte blanche, and he dived into that sea of film like Johnny Weissmuller into a jungle pool full of crocodiles. So that was quite nice. And Ralph Vaughan Williams, I didn't realise it was an original score.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he is composer of the week on Radio 3 this week. So that's a nice little coincidence. Yeah, the controversy, when they came back after filming it, they were met by the press because London at this point was now being bombed.
Right.
And they'd just come back from a jolly in Canada shooting this film, and all of which was funded by the Ministry of Information. So there's a big press conference, and which the press were demanded to know how much of taxpayers' money had gone during the war, had gone to make this film. And so Michael Powell told them it's £50,000, but he without mentioning he actually went another £30,000 over budget. And then he had to explain about Elizabeth Bergner having to be replaced at the Hitterites scene, and hadn't come back to England, had gone to Hollywood instead, which is why Glynis Jones plays her part. And apparently, according to Michael Powell's telling the story, he won the press over with telling them all about the film, and they became more excited about the film than all the money that has been spent. And the last point I want to make, and this is a very uninteresting observation just from my point of view. I've always thought that from the early scenes of Colonel Blimp with Roger Livesey and Anton Woolbrack, when they meet and they duel and they end up in hospital, I've always thought that's always those scenes have always reminded me of just the look of them, the color and the lighting is how I imagined the Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann.
Well,
and I've always thought it's such a shame Michael Powell never made. If anyone wants to make a film adaptation of the Magic Mountain, he would be the one. And then I was completely
gobsmacked.
Yeah. Because I just assumed the Magic Mountain wasn't on his radar, and it obviously was, because there's a scene in this film where they go on about the Magic Mountain, and now I'm even more frustrated than I was previously that this was never made into a film by them.
I just made a few notes as I was watching it, and one of my notes was Thomas Mann ! Because I was like, wow, Wayne will be so delighted when he sees this Thomas Mann reference in this film.
I was delighted, but also
saddened,
really saddened, because I just thought, oh, he did know about the Magic Mountain.
Yeah,
and he could have. It would have been brilliant, I think.
Well, a couple of other things I thought were interesting are I just quite.
Anton Woolbrack would be Settembrini.
I've never read it, so I don't.
Huh?
I've never read it, so I don't know.
He would. He'd be good. He'd be a good Settembrini. He'd be brilliant, Settembrini.
These films that make it was interesting. These films that were made as wartime propaganda for various reasons, because this was made in 41, but then by the time it was actually released in 42, America, Pearl Harbor had happened at the end of 41, so they'd already entered the war. And then I told you,
so the whole point of making the film was
negated. Yeah. And then there's a brilliant trailer, the American trailer for this film. This film was called The Invaders.
Yeah,
United States, and there's a trailer for this film, which I'll put a link on the website. And that it's during the making of Talk of the Town, which is a George Stevens film. Cary Grant, Ronald Colman, and Jean Arthur rush in. They're late for a meeting with the director, George Stevens, because they've been busy watching 49th Parallel. And they're telling George Stevens what an amazing film it is. But then, interestingly, George Stevens, just a year or so later, he filmed the D-Day landings, he filmed Dachau. So all of this whole sort of wartime propaganda stuff is really fascinating. And then also, I didn't realize this, Glynis Johns is still alive.
Okay.
And she is now, since Olivier de Havilland died, she's the oldest surviving winner of a Best Actor or Actress Oscar.
I think Pressburger got an Oscar for this film as well.
Oh, did he?
I think he did. I think he got Best Original Screenplay. I'm 100% sure. I think he did.
But yeah, Really enjoyed it. Very weird film, but
Yeah, it's very weird. I mean, that's the thing. Their films are weird, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, Leslie Howard. I was like, because it has this episodic nature. I was like, have I just not recognised Leslie Howard? But like, he doesn't crop up until like the last 20 minutes.
And did you think Laurence Olivier was on the U-boat at the start?
I can't. No, but I was. I don't think I did. No, but I was just when I saw him just with his beard and his accent, I was just floored.
Yeah, same here. I thought he was one of the Nazis at the start.
It's quite amazing. Anyway, so yeah, there we go.
And it's on Channel 4 Friday.
It's on Channel 4 this week. It's also, I discovered this morning, somebody has kindly uploaded the whole Criterion edition onto YouTube, so we'll link to that as well. So very, very easy to find, and also you can rent it on Amazon. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Thank you for introducing.
Right. Yes. So it's a bit rambling, more rambling than usual, I feel.
Well, there we go.
I'm sitting here shivering.
Okay. Well, we'll see you all in a few weeks. Very well.
Okay, and I'm guessing we'll be staying in Canada.
I think we'll probably. There is a Canadian film that I've wanted to see for a long time that I'm going to have a look at.
Okay.
Yes, I think we'll almost certainly be staying in Canada for my pick.
That seems
all right.
logical. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Cheerio. Very well. Bye bye.